everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you are having an amazing Sunday. If you haven't already watched the chicken and garden update, go watch it because so many things are growing. We have sunflowers that have sat in seed form for 3-4 years. The strawberries are coming along. The chickens are happily laying. We've got cucumbers and tomatoes that are just around the corner. We've also got peppers that are actually producing fruit. It's great. And I know not everybody likes gardening, but if you do, come and join me in the chicken and garden update when we finished watching today's video, which is all about how much of a premium are you willing to pay to use fast charging. So for those who don't know, earlier this week, our Ford NACS adapter arrived. The adapter that allows us to charge this truck, the truck the camera is sitting on, at a Tesla Supercharger using a Ford approved and a Tesla approved adapter. It's very nice, very sleek, very svelte. I'm not going to obviously rehash what we said on the main channel about it, so go watch that video if you haven't already. But it was a really enjoyable experience in terms of the physicality of plugging in. Very simple, very easy. Because the truck has plug and charge, it just starts authorizing the charging and it starts charging. I don't have to worry about any smartphone apps or anything. But at the end of the filming session, and bear in mind, we didn't fully charge the truck. We actually waited until the truck was nearly empty before going out to film it. We charged, I think we put 33 kilowatt hours in the first time we plugged in, and then the second time we put a little bit more in. But for that 33 kilowatt hours that we put in the battery pack, we paid, I want to say, $17.67 or thereabouts. I might be, a few cents off, but that's a lot of money, $17. More than $17 for 33 kilowatt hours of electricity. That works out to, I think, somewhere in the order of 53, 54, 55 cents, US cents per kilowatt hour of electricity. And I know that my friends and family and colleagues over in the UK are paying ridiculously high amounts of money to use fast charging stations, to the point that in many cases it is no longer cheaper to own and drive an EV if you regularly drive long distance compared to an internal combustion engine vehicle. And that is in the UK, where the tax on petrol and diesel is astronomical. You pay a lot of money per litre for diesel and gasoline in the UK. In fact, in some places, you pay as much in equivalent terms for a litre as some US states will charge you for a gallon. So let that sink in. And those two figures, those two measurements are not the same. But at the same point, charging at a Tesla Supercharger, while it was a very fun and simple experience from the end user's perspective, was darned expensive. And the location we went to, which is in Scappoose in Oregon, they have 4 Tesla Superchargers, and then next to that there are 2 ChargePoint DC fast charging stations. Now, of course, we were testing out the NACS adapter, so we had to use the NACS charging station. But while we were there, a Tesla Model 3 came up and parked at the CCS charging station and plugged in. And we were like, okay, does this person know something that we don't? And clearly they did. Because we looked it up later, and those charging stations are charging, I think, 13 or 14 cents per kilowatt hour for charging your car, fast charging your EV. And it got me wondering, at what point do you look at fast charging, public fast charging, and go, you know what? No, that's too expensive. Not so long ago, a decade ago, less than a decade ago, if you were making a long distance trip by EV, you stopped to charge when you needed to charge, and the options for charging were so limited that you were at the mercy of the person charging you for the electricity, and you ended up paying whatever that charging station wanted you to pay. You had no option. You couldn't say, oh, I'm going to go across town to another charging station over there and charge there, because likely the scenario was there wasn't another fast charging station, possibly not for over 100 miles. And even until fairly recently, when we were able to travel across the US, which sadly we're not able to do anymore for reasons, when we used to travel out to Eastern Oregon, we made that trip several times in my first F-150 Lightning. And, you know, there were occasions where the charging station we were at was the only charging station within an easily reachable radius, like 70 miles. There wasn't another one in 70 miles, or maybe there was one, but it was much slower and really super unreliable. So the amount of money we paid, we didn't think about it. We just paid, got back on the road and off we went. And we convinced ourselves that it was cheaper because we were supplementing it with our home charging, right? At home, most people pay, depending on where you live, it could be as little as a few cents per kilowatt hour up to maybe 20, 30, 40 cents per kilowatt hour. In some areas, it can be even more. For me here in Oregon, I think I'm paying probably about 15 or 16 cents per kilowatt hour by the time you factor in the fact that we pay extra for green energy or renewable energy. We are on a tariff where we get charged more if we use more, and we use more because we're a business here, so we have to pay slightly more for the electricity. I think that's how it works. And even that is eminently cheaper than me going to a Tesla Supercharger and putting 33 kilowatt hours of energy into the battery pack of my F-150 Lightning. And I want to know at what point you go, no, I'm good. Like, is 25 cents per kilowatt hour enough? Is 50 cents per kilowatt hour okay? What about 75 cents per kilowatt hour? Is that a point at which you go, nope, I'm not charging, I'm going to find an alternative? Or maybe I'm going to leave my EV at home and not bother. Maybe you're someone who's like, you know, I'm happy to pay $1. Let's just say $1 per kilowatt hour every now and then, because I know I don't fast charge very often, and whenever I do, it's because I absolutely need to. So therefore, I'm okay with paying a premium for my charging experience. But I know that it's a sliding scale, and I know it's different for every person. So today, I want you to tell me, in your local currency, please reiterate what your local currency is. Just say, hey, I live in X place and my local currency is this, and I pay this at home, and when I'm out and about and I'm using a fast charging station, I'm okay with up to this. I want to get a gauge of just how much people are willing to spend, and at what point charging station providers are going to start seeing people turning away and saying, no, I'm going elsewhere. And maybe you already have. Maybe you're like that guy in Scappoose just down the road from us here who looked at the Tesla Superchargers and went, I'm not paying 50 something cents per kilowatt hour, when a different network that is adjacent to the Supercharger will charge me 13 cents per kilowatt hour. Are we going to start seeing situations where there are Tesla Superchargers next to Electrify Americas or EVgo's or whatever, where the Tesla Superchargers are not getting custom because the other network is charging less? Is that a good thing? Is it going to lead to one network basically giving up? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you this time next week. Oh, and go and watch The Chicken and Garden. It's well worth a watch. Thanks for joining me today, and if you've got thoughts, make sure you leave them below in our Discord chat room, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They are some of more than 1,500 people who help fund this channel through Patreon and YouTube. They help cover our bills, pay our team, and make sure that we can be 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed here, just follow the links below. There are a range of different tiers you can sign up for from as little as $1 a month, or if you pay yearly, just over $10 a year. A huge welcome to our newest supporters, Mac McIntosh, Kyle Randall, Bryant E. Day, Shedrick Mask, and Robin Mayorga. To join the list and get your shout out, become a paid Patreon member for your week of fame. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations, and we even have an old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at, address linked below. And if you're in need of some swag, you'll find our swag store in the down below. This month, we're getting ready to celebrate Pride with an amazing t-shirt design by our in-house artist and animator Erin. Get yours today when it drops in early June by heading to our Redbubble store. We've got some great content coming up, so make sure you're subscribed on PeerTube or YouTube, and we'll see you soon. We make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want more, the mighty algorithm thinks you'll like this video, but we think that this one is also well worth a look. See you soon, and as always, keep evolving!